It's that time again. We've got another great interview for you today on the podcast. We are going to interview a broker that we've known. That we've both known since 2015.
Right.
More about how we know each other and how we've continued to work together. But we have Youssef Genid today from Realty One Group, legend, New Jersey. He'll explain all of that on the show today. So it's very excited to interview him.
Grab a cup of coffee and join us on the Wandering But Not Lost podcast.
You've reached the WBNL Wandering But Not Lost podcast, where real estate and reality meet. And now your hosts, Jan O'Brien and Matt Emerson.
Well, welcome to the WBNL Wandering But Not Lost podcast, where real estate and reality meet. This is episode 235. You can get all of our show notes over there at WBNLpodcast.com. Jan O'Brien, I am so excited to sit down and talk with Youssef today. We love that guy. He's a pretty awesome man. He has over 25 years experience in real estate. He is broker owner. He's been property manager. He's really been a real estate instructor. Obviously, a franchise in franchise sales. He's kind of done everything in the business, and he has a lot of interesting stories and expertise to bring to the table.
Absolutely. And we are excited to share a little bit about and get some inspiration from Youssef of what he has seen in all the years he's been in business, and he has done it at every level, including real estate sales and commercial sales, but really in running brokerages. So we're excited to get his point of view today.
So let's bring him in.
Hello, guys. How are you? You look great. I'm very excited. I'm very excited to be with you today.
Thanks for joining us, Youssef. It's so exciting. I was saying at the top of the show, we met Youssef in 2015, and it was really funny because we met in 2015. We really connected. We were at the time working at Realty One Group, and I was doing a lot of the coaching. Matt was the operations guy, operations COO. And unfortunately, it was like we were making a transition to actually start our coaching company.
That's right.
Right after Youssef came in, and we joke to this day about it wasn't you, Youssef. It was all good, We really made that connection and stayed, kind of followed each other over the years. And you reached out, a few years back, and we've been working together. We're very excited. We're going to explore that a little bit today. But before we do, can you just share? We just gave a couple highlights in the beginning, but share a little bit about how you got into real estate to where you got today. So we just get the backstory. People get to know you a little bit more.
Okay, I'll make it very briefly. I am a chemical engineer, and I have, degree from overseas, of course, as agriculture engineering. I came to United States, and I had dream like everybody else come to the country, to be a very successful as a chemist, or I had in mind to be a scientist. And then with life, the pressures, things change. So I went from there to become a restaurant owner. So I did a lot, I had a restaurant, I had a diner. So then I realized the food business really is very, very tough, and then the economy was shifted back then, which is, I'm sure you remember, this was a difficult time, especially back in the 1990s.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody was telling me, I do have a good skills, personality to become as a salesperson. And especially was a very good friend of mine. God bless her soul. She was the broker owner for Century 21. She convinced me also to consider the real estate. And my wife also was behind me 100%. And also she was pushing me. The thing it really did hold me back to make that move or to make that decision is I felt like, here I am, I came to the country, I have a dream, to be a scientist. And then I have college degree, and I went to NJIT. I took undergraduate and then graduate, courses. Then I said, okay, I'm gonna be, in my mind is the real estate is for people like, they don't have like high education. Mm-hmm. But then I realized from talking to other people in the business, they have a very great career, and college degree, and they choose the real estate. And that's when I made up my mind, and I got my license, and it was tough back then because we're talking about almost more than 25 years ago. It was no computer. It was no technology. They just came up with the cell phone.
Remember that big phone? Did you have one of those?
I couldn't even afford it. And
right.
you know what? The funny thing also, we used to wait for the book to come out.
Yes.
You see what you're right. If you remember that, it's what the listing. And
we're really dating ourselves when we talk about the book.
And and the other thing also is, I mean, we used to put a lot of effort and time. If you were presenting an offer, you have to meet with the listing realtor or the listing agent, and you sit with the seller. Then you have to deliver the contract to drive all the way to the attorney. Sometimes the buyer or the seller, they choose an attorney like maybe 2 hours away from your office, but we had no choice. But I think over the years, there is a lot of change, in our life, and also in our industry as a realtor. And the problem I am seeing is sometimes when it seems too much easy, it make people more lazy.
I agree.
100%. That's unfortunately. So technology, it is great if you use it the right way. But again, one of the issues I seen also, sometimes, or some of the realtors, they took it to the extreme, which means they try to learn. Like they spend probably half of their life learning about the technology and the tools. Instead, apply what you learn and learn as you go. That's what I believe. So now I became a realtor, and I always feel I can do better. That was basically what inspired me all the time. I never ever, and I still believe that. I don't think I'm smarter than anyone else. I think everybody much smarter than me, and everybody, they have better opportunity to succeed and to accomplish more than what I accomplished for myself. This is true. So I always believe I could do better. And it started from, become just a realtor, try to make a living, which was tough, because at that time, it was the whole entire town demanded by like 3 or 4 realtors. They control the whole entire, so it was very hard to break through. But I will tell you, and I will never forget that, I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, but I think I'm almost close to be correct. My first year, I did probably like 47 transaction.
Wow.
It's amazing.
And the funny thing, Jan, is
that's crazy.
They used to make fun of me at the office because I didn't know there is the homes, it has something called style. I don't know, and then my manager, he's a great man. He was, and he is. He brought me to his office. He said to me, listen, I'm not going to ask you how you get all this listing, because I didn't even know I was number 1 in the office, by the way. And at that time, if you remember back that 25 something years ago, most of the realtor, we were out of business because you put the house on the market for sale by owner. People, they line up, they want to buy it. And with that challenge, I did this number of transactions, and my average commission was 7%.
No, those are the days we were taking that kind of listing, huh? And
I'm not allowed to say, I think I'm not going to say what the name of the company, but I rated, I think, number 7 for only like probably like 8-9 months working for the company. And my manager brought me to his office, said, listen, I'm not going to ask you how you get the listing. So I joke with him. I said, when people, they see me with my accent, they want to get rid of me. So he said, okay, just let me know where you want me to sign. So they want to get rid of me,
Oh.
So he sat with me in his office. He said, listen, in the United States, we have something called the style. Then he started showing me on the paper, what the ranch, what's his ranch, split level, bi-level, colonial, all this. So my message here really is very simple. If you want to make it, or you want to make it, you will make it. Don't let all the other attachment or all the other things to be your excuse for not to succeed. If you say, well, when I have like $10,000 in my bank account, I'm gonna focus more on the real estate. This is called excuse. Or if you say, I'm a brand new realtors, I cannot compete with everybody. Maybe I need like a year or 2 years. This is also excuses. Or if you say, I don't get treated right by my manager or my office. So also this is excuses. And my advice also is, whatever you work, if you are not getting enough support from your broker or your office or your company, leave. This is your life. This is your career,
Mm-hmm.
So life is a choices, but the people, they succeed, the one they make the right decision.
What got you going from sales? How long did it take for you to say, I want to go own my own company? Because you're in your second company.
Well,
right?
This is also, I think, I don't know if I told you or not, but maybe I hope I did not tell you, because, you're going to laugh at me. But I have to say that, by the way, when I get, I know we're going to get back to that later, but I have to say this. When I get involved with Realty One Group, I was very, very convinced you are a great coach, and I know you and I, we met maybe once or twice, and then you did resign after that. And I did follow up with you. We didn't even talk, but I knew you're going to be one of the elements or one of the keys to help me to succeed. And that's why when I get myself where I should be, I reach out to you, and you have been, you and Matt, of course, big help. All right. So what's your question again?
The question was, because that's so cool that you did so much. You were so focused, and
Yes.
You're giving great advice of no excuses. I so agree with you, because if you want to make it happen, you can make it happen. So I'm interested to know when did you decide that you wanted to own your own business, like become your own broker? How long did it take?
You see, that's what I like you. You know what? Nobody can change your mind. You always focus right to the point. It doesn't matter. All right. So here is the story. I was involved. I left the company I started with because I didn't know I was the top producer. I was one of these top, and I don't like the whole top producer, by the way. So then I decided. I look around. I got involved with other people. They have their own office, and they asked me if I've been thinking about to move, and I could just not come to work with them because they make me a very, very sweet, great deal. And I was even surprised what these people, they see in me, I don't see it, So the agreement basically was, I told them I will work with them for maybe 6 months or so. I helped them to build up the company, and I've been doing the real estate for 2 years at that time.
Oh, wow.
And then we'll become partner. And I did, I think whatever I do in my life, I give 100%.
Absolutely.
I never I did a lot of different kind of works in my life, since I was even very, very like little child, 6, 7, 8 years old. I'm not going to tell you about my whole life, but I always give 100%, and goes back to my parents. This is the way they implant, or they put the right seeds, for me and for my sisters also as well. We always give 100%. We never, even my father used to say, do your best, give 100%. And if you made it, you made it. If you didn't make it, you will never regret it. Even if there is things you did not do it, because you did not do it because you didn't know. So we'll go back to the real estate. So that's what I did. I did help them, and I never claim I'm a coach, by the way, but I can say I'm maybe instructor or helping realtor to improve their skills, if that's the right word to use. So I work with them, and then I make big impact and improvement with their, not just the office, the company. They become, I help them also to expand. So, and after 6 months, I said, okay, listen, I did huge improvement for your office. And now we have, like, you guys, you have like multiple offices. And one of them also, it was my deal. And then they went from, example, like 18 realtors to like almost 60 something within 6 months.
Wow. And
then they said, well, everything we would agree on it. That's when we were a small company, but now we are bigger. So the term and the condition change. Mm-hmm. So I decided to looking for not another career, another opportunity. So, and I said, I don't want to work for another company. So maybe I should have my own. And that's when I reach out to, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that.
Oh, yeah,
sure, absolutely.
We work with everybody.
Okay, good. So I reach out, to Remax, basically. And Remax, I met with the sales, whatever, executive or managers. Mm-hmm. And he sold me the franchise, Remax. And it was my first office, actually, was in Mawa. And I got very excited. I went, I did the construction, the office, and everything. It's fantastic. It's ready to go. Then, don't kill me. You promise, right? Then, we applied the paper to the real estate commissioner, and they came back. They said, you don't have a broker license.
Oh.
I've been in the business like 2.5 years. So I said, okay, now
get a broker.
Yeah, I couldn't, because you have to put a certain number of productions, which is, I have no problem with that, but years.
Yep.
So here we are. Here, I think my life always is about challenge.
You're like, I'll figure that out later. I'm gonna go get.
Yes.
I'm gonna go.
Yeah, because you're an overachiever. That's the thing.
Yes,
you're an overachiever.
But I swear to God, I think you know what? Every day I get up, but I love it. That's what makes me excited about it. I will tell you, honestly, God, I don't, Jan and Matt, that, and the people do know me. I don't get enough sleep. I sleep like maybe an hour, 2 hours.
Because you're always thinking.
And you sleep like 10, 15 minutes here and there. Even when I'm tired, like now, I like to sit outside. I feel like, why would I go sleep and I miss out on all this gift God give it to us?
Now let me tell you something. That Thomas Edison did that, and and I think Einstein did that as well. My wife and I call those genius naps. So you sleep a little bit, and then you have genius naps in between. So clearly, dude, you're a genius.
I will listen. I appreciate that, but don't give me too much compliment. But honestly, God, I feel that every single day. Or, and I'm not even day or night.
Propels you.
I say, why do I need to go to sleep and to miss out on this beautiful life? But anyway, so we go back. Now here we are. I have an office, and I couldn't get an approval from the real estate commissioners, and I spent all this money. And what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna wait another 2-3 years to
You
get
gotta
my
find a
broker
broker.
license.
Oh,
And so what I did, like they say, when there is a will, there is a
There's
way.
a way.
always.
Good. So what I did basically, I found a broker, and then again from there, I think I have it was one of the highest or the great office in Bergen County. I work with a lot of realtor, and I used to work with them. We do classes, coaching, training. I was doing everything. And the funny thing is, it's not really funny. I think I'm very proud of it. Even to today, the realtor work with me. I work very close with them. I train them. I used to have classes almost every day. And a lot of them actually, they went from making maybe 10, 15,000, the breaking $1 million plus. And it's Jan, which is, I'm sure you have that also. It is the most wonderful thing when you get, of course, when you are in the position and you're working with people and realtors or whatever, they need you, they compliment you constantly because they need you. But the true achievement or the rewards, when these people, they don't need you any longer, like they retired, this is the realtor, they work with me. And then I got constantly every holidays, my birthday, holidays, I got a text messages, phone call from them. And they say, the best time in my career when I work for you. And you are the greatest boss and the most money I ever made in my life when I work with you. And I owe you. And I'm going to tell you, it's a priceless. When I got this, not from one person or two or three, and they are not in the business anymore, it just made me feel like, with a very little bit of knowledge I have, I feel like I did something right in my life to do improvement for the other people's life. And I think that's what's life all about. Yep. Working together, caring for each other and helping each other. This is the most important.
That is so impactful to have people come back and do that. That says that you really are. It's like making me think of Matt's wife, Laura, as a teacher, people reaching out to her, and teachers, you're a teacher, mentor, coach, because that's what you always love to do. And you still do this to this day. You're always coaching and training your agents, even though you now have systems in place and other people to help you. But I know that's what you do, Youssef, and that does make an impact when people tell you that, because it's what you said a little while ago. You were telling agents listening, if you're not getting that kind of support or you're not in an environment, then you shouldn't be there. If there's plenty of places to go in this real estate world.
Well, it certainly demonstrates your character, because it's no one would reach back out if they didn't really
That's
know
right.
you were doing it for them and not for yourself. And that is,
Matt, honestly, like cool. I said, I got this from a realtor, they still in the business. They call me also, but the one really they were the top producers in the state, and then they retired. And when they still remember me and sending these text messages, I cannot even put a price tag. I could have a miserable or a very tough day. And when I get that message, I feel like, I did something right in my life. I want to just make one comment, if I may, which is Jan just said something, which is I never understood that when I was very little, because when I was like maybe 8, 9 years old in the school, and then one of the teacher, he was to me like the great model. I look up to him, and I was like 8 years old. He was like 20 something years old. He was a kid, but to me he was older, and he was very hard on me in the school. And you know what? When you love someone so much and you feel that person is hard on you, it does hurt more than somebody you don't care.
right.
So and then I cried. And then he said to me, why are you crying? I said, I was a little kid, like 8 years. I said, you know what? Like, you are very hard on me, and I love you. And I always look at you like, like you are like, my older brother. He said to me, I want to give you advice. I said, yes. He said, there is only two people in this world. They want you to be better than them. Your parents and your teacher. He said, you're going to come back one day in the school. He said, and I hope, he said to me, I hope you will come back, and I hope I will be around. And you're going to be probably one of this big, high rank person. You could be the president of the country. And guess what? I'm going to still be the teacher. Yeah. Now, I want to add awesome. I want to add one more thing here too, if I may, which is true. In my opinion, there is three kind of people they want you to do and to be better than them: your parents, your teacher, and your coach. Wow. And this is true.
Excellent. Boy, so that is actually perfect.
I got the office, and then from there I got another office. Then I got another office. Then I got I think I had like 4 franchises. And then, the economy, of course, changed back 2006, 7, and 8.
Right.
Yes.
It was very tough.
The Great Recession.
Yes.
Happens.
You know that. And then I start looking around, okay, where would I be? But I never was looking like for what is the best for myself? What is the best for my relative? Mm-hmm. And if I may give this advice to everyone, they would like to succeed in the business. If you are a broker, or let's take it to the first level. If you are a realtor, a real estate realtor, you carry a real estate license. When you're working with client, it does not matter if you're presenting the buyer or the seller. Besides, we teach you, or you learn when you go to school, you got your license, you have to put the benefit of the client before yours. This is true. Never, ever, 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 when you work with client, don't think about yourself. Think about your client. What is the right things to do for them? Don't think about yourself, because you have to remember one thing. When they benefit, you're going to benefit.
That's right.
And it's not just about money, it's about trust and long-term relationship.
Yes.
Now, you as a broker owner also, it is very important to always keep in mind, this is your number one responsibility. What is the best for your relatives, not what the best for you. You cannot nickel and dime them, and you try to make money as much as you can off them, because you have to remember also the same thing. If they succeed, you will succeed. If they make money, you will make money. If they last, you will last. In office without relatives, it's not in office.
That's right.
Yes, that's true. Mm-hmm. So besides coaching and training and that, you always have, since I've known you, say that has been important to you. You are great at recruiting too, Youssef, because you wouldn't have grown those offices, and then you finally get to the place where you're looking for the next opportunity. And let's talk a little bit about that, because we do want to get to our Ask 5, because you went to the Realty One Group franchise. That's where we met. But you went to the next level, because now you are the regional guy for all of New Jersey. You have the opportunity. Can you tell us a little bit about how you got to that place? And then we want to get to these 5 questions. I want to get your take on our Ask 5.
All right. Here is basically what happened. I started looking for what the better company out there really to be the future company, and also to do well for the realtors. Mm-hmm. And I got a lot of offer. I don't like my father always say, only it's secret if you keep it to yourself. But when people they find out, and I thought it was a secret because I don't want anybody to know. I want to leave the company I was with and looking for another company. And all of a sudden, people they find out. So I started getting offer from, I won't even say names, but it was great offers.
All the big ones.
Yes, and and it was also besides, offer me offices for free, offer me cash, in the front. Listen, we all needs money without no question. Doesn't matter what level you are. Right. But I think my main focus thing is it wasn't the money. It was what is the right company for the realtor, for myself, and the future. So I reached out to Realty One Group, and this is go back to 7-8 years, 2015, I guess.
14, 15, yeah.
And they weren't that big at that time. They have like a few offices. But when I start Google and I read a little bit more about them, I realize this company, it has the great model to be huge. It's like, they call diamond in the rough. Yeah. That's basically what I realized. So I did reach out to them several times, by the way. Nobody get back to me. But finally, after 4 or 5 times, somebody get back to me. And we met, we talked on the phone a few times. And then I took a trip, and they have I don't remember how many offices, but very, very few, like a handful of offices. Yep. But the model, and the concept, it was really great. And I know Kuba is the CEO for the company. I do believe, he's a truly a gentleman and a great man. And the guy is, to me, is like genius,
Visionary.
Yes, exactly.
Absolutely.
And I knew he has the vision. And I met with him a few times, it wasn't really one-on-one, but, when I was there, they did the presentation. He took us, me, and a few broker owner, they were maybe 5 people at that time.
Right. I remember that.
We remember these.
Absolutely.
You remember that, right?
Sure.
Yeah. So, and I realized this guy is really, he has the vision, but he was struggling, if that's the right word, to make it happen. And I believed in him. I knew he was going to make it happen.
Hey, Youssef, at that time, there were about 16 offices in Realty One Group, and he hadn't started franchising yet. This is when the franchising just happened. So just think of where he went from 2015 and with 16 offices to where they are today with hundreds of offices and franchising.
It's international, too.
It's
international,
amazing.
exactly.
Yes. It really is. That really talks to the visionary that the vision that you're speaking about. And you identified that early on, and we all did too. That's why we were all there.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you now. So I decided, in my mind now, I had 4 franchises with Remax, whatever, and I'm walking away. I said, okay, all I want to do is I need maybe 2 or 3 offices, right? That's all I want. So I reach out to them, and they approve me basically, the background check, all that stuff. Then I flew to California, and to sign the final paper. So I was sitting having, I think my breakfast, and then the person coming, which is, I'm not gonna say no name because. Anyway, so he's coming with his briefcase, and I can see him very excited, and he's coming toward me, big smile. And now I was very happy. They approved me for 3 locations, and they will work with me. I said, wow, that's great. As he comes, my stupid brain did not stop thinking. So he said, I'm very excited. He gave me a hug. I said, okay, finally, everything is done. All I need your signature here, and we're ready to go. And you're going to be extremely happy with us. So he took the paper. I said, I'm not going to sign. He said, what? I said, I have a second thought. He said, what do you mean second thought? Yeah, I'm not going to you're not going to go through? I said, no, I will. But I would like to buy the region. I wanted the whole state of New Jersey. He looked at me, he said, well, first of all, we've been going back and forth, God knows, for like 6 months. And it wasn't easy to approve you. Now we're coming, we don't sell states. We can give you location. I said, well, listen, if I'm not good enough for the state, I'm not good enough for the location.
That's awesome.
And he said to me, okay, I don't think we have no deal. I said, well, it was a pleasure to see you. So, he was unhappy. He said, okay, if I leave, I'm not coming back. I said, I'm going to tell you something. I'm leaving, I don't remember, like 5 o'clock. I'm leaving the hotel by 3. I will tell you this. If you come back to the hotel 1 minute after 3, if I'm in the cab, I'm not going to talk to you. When I go back to New Jersey, I will not sign, even if you give it to me for free. I think he was bluffing, and maybe I was bluffing too. But you know what happened? This is also very important for everybody. It didn't come from nowhere. It's something called, I saw the opportunity.
Exactly.
And I jump on it. I will give you a perfect example. If you're a realtor, you have opportunities every single day. But you know what? You don't see it. You don't pay attention. And I'll prove it to you in 2 seconds. You are driving in your car. Okay. You have to ask yourself, what do you do for a living? Are you a realtor or a cab driver? Or you want to convince yourself by the end of the day, wow, I had a nice lunch, summer is here, I had a nice ice cream, life is good. You are a realtor. That's your job. Your job as a realtor is to find the opportunities. When you're driving your car and you see something said for sale by owner, you need to stop your car, to pull over and to knock on the door. That's called, opportunity. Opportunity comes to you. You have to look for it. And that's the difference between, like Tony Robson said, basically, I guess one of the things he said success is a habit. Failure, it's tradition. Because you condition yourself. It is what it is. That's what it is. There is nothing I can do about it. But that's why, the whole entire world is run by 5%.
Yep.
True that.
It's true. The same thing in the real estate. The people they make most of the money in the United States, 5 or 4%.
I agree with that too.
So
where are you now? How many overall companies do you have in your
I do believe we have about I think 14 offices so far.
in your own, and you still have a couple offices that
I have only 2. I don't buy any more franchises. I don't want to, because I want to focus on helping
developing so you're going to coach your franchise owners.
Exactly.
Yes, we do. And with your help also, Jan, I think you and I were working on putting a program together, how to become a team leader, and thanks to you, you've been really big help. I don't know if I should say, I'm allowed to say that or not? Okay.
You say whatever you want.
Okay, good. Because no, honestly, listen, when you and
you got these little golden nuggets in here, and Matt, I have an idea that he just inspired me because of some of these nuggets that he's saying. I make sure I talk to you.
Well, listen, I always believe, I'm going to tell you, this is very important, because that's how you and we did well together. Because when I got, when I got the region, and I was so excited, right? And, I had a little tough time because I did count on other people to help me to grow the company, but they did not do their job. Yeah. And, like John Wayne used to say, don't say a boy to do the man's job.
Yep.
So I realized, and my father used to say to me, if you want to get something done right, do it by yourself. So I realized I have to take over the company and, to have a full control to bring it to the next level. So I get rid of some of the people. And you have to remember also, when I went from Remax to Realty One Group, I used to have with Remax like 4 franchises. And, they were very successful. I went down, if I'm not mistaken, like to only 7 agents.
Wow.
Right now, my office here in Clifton, we are almost like 180, 190.
Great.
Wow.
Yep.
See, that's that attraction piece.
It is. So now
and the model helps. You're right about that. That you saw the model, and that's why we were part of it too. It's a game changer, and a lot of people try to duplicate and find it, but it's obviously the success speaks.
Yeah,
for
so
itself.
many people from that didn't really understand that model they did not believe that model was going to work.
You know what, Matt? It's combination.
Yep.
And if you don't understand the combination, or I call it the puzzles. If you don't know how to put these puzzles together, you will never have a shape. So, for a perfect example, you could have you could be the best driver on the face of the planet, but if you don't have the right car, you will never win the race.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
You could have the best car, and if you don't know how to drive the car, you will never win the race.
Mm-hmm.
So, the problem with a lot of us, we don't have called like a business plan. We don't try to understand. Listen, nobody's perfect. Everybody made mistake.
Yep.
Like I will give you a perfect example. You know that the sticky paper, the company called 3M, they made them.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know the story behind this? This is just one of the things I can share with you.
I don't know this story.
They spend a lot of money because they want to come up with the glue, not Gorilla Glue. Glue, it will hold the steel together and it will last for lifetime. Think about it now for a second. Money, millions spent, time, and then the end, they came up with that glue, like just hold the paper together and you can just separate them. But this is what I want to share with everyone. Any other company, they will shut down the company and they walk away because they did not get the result they want. But because they were intelligent enough to figure there is another way we could use that glue for something else, and they become number one, and they made billions of dollars. They did not get the result they were shooting for.
Right.
But they saw the opportunity, they took it, and
That's
they took action. Is what you're
So they could have been this.
Yes.
But then they decided to be this.
Yes. That's called the improvement. Yes.
Exactly.
So you know what?
Take advantage of your situation.
One of my coaches, or actually was he was a trainer, and I'm not going to say the name of the company he used to work for. He was one of the coaches, the top coaches also for that company. And when I start my business, he was one of my coach, and the guy would even freaking talk to me because I was just a realtor, among like 7,000 other realtors in the company. So I'm nobody. So we talk. Finally, and he will come to the office, to check on all the managers and their activity. Time goes by. I had my offices. I hired him. He quit his company and he came to work with me. I never feel, listen, nobody works for me. We work together. That's what it is. So he taught me one thing. He said, Youssef, I said, his name is Tom Alabo. He said to me, I want to give you advice. I said, yes. He took 25 cents out of his pocket. He put it on the table. He said, it does not matter which side the people they want to see. By the end of the day, it's still 25 cents.
God, very good.
And this is
little pearls.
changed my mind.
I love it.
Yes. It did change my mind big time. So we'll go back again now. Yes, right now I have 14 offices. I believe we have about almost 180, 190 here, right?
And what's the goal? Where do you want to go?
Yeah, that's what we
Well,
want to know.
I'm counting on you for that. But
All
now
right.
I'm gonna go back to one thing, then I'm gonna tell you what's my goal is. So everything, it is like puzzles. You have to have the right pieces together. We have a dream. We all have a vision. But the difference between the people they succeed and people they stopped or they fail, the one they don't know how to go from A to Z, not A to B, you know?
Yeah.
So you have to have that vision. So when I got the region, I was very excited. Then I realized my problem, I counting on the wrong people. I get rid of them. I took over. Then I said, okay, what do I really need in order to succeed? Number one, I said, okay, I need to have a good relationship with one of the big coaches because they're going to help me. And I reach out, I'm not going to say even names,
No, you can.
almost all the big guys. And one of them was very kind enough to say to me, my son, I said, yes. He said, why you keep calling my office 20 times a day? Don't you give up? I said, you taught us, you know what, never give up. I'm freaking taking your advice. I do exactly what you taught me about maybe 20 something years ago. He started laughing. And he said to me, you know what? Okay, I'm going to listen. I like you, but I want to give you advice. I said, yes. He said, you are nobody. When you are someone, call me. And this is, I never take it as negative. I said, you know what? He's right. So what I decided to do is I started to put some of these puzzles together. And one of the things I know, what is the most important thing in anybody else's career to succeed? They need a business plan. They need a goal to reach. And in order to reach the goal, it has to be reachable.
Yep.
Everybody would like to be a multi-billionaire, but also you have to be logic. So that's why I reach out to you. I said, I need a good coach.
I told you were a genius.
Well, I know. You know what? So that was one of the most important. The strengths of the office is coaching, training, education. Yep. And I'm going to bring this here. I was going to save this to the end, but I'm going to bring it now. I call it the triangle failure, not Bermuda Triangle, because Bermuda Triangle, you go there, you are vanished. This is exactly the same concept. What is the triangle failure in my mind is, number one, when you don't listen. Number two, when you don't try to learn. And number three, when you believe you know everything. Mm-hmm. And that's why we know a lot of this, I call them, top producers, if you want to, or successful realtors, they fail. How come these people, at one time, they were like making millions of dollars, and all of a sudden their career goes down to nothing? Because this is the triangle, they got stuck with it, and their ego does not let them sit back and learn. So now, how I become, I'm not really successful. I'm just like average person, I analyze what I need. So I know I need good employees to work with me. I need a good coach, and I need a business plan, and the business plan has to be reachable, at least for me. For the other is not, but that's okay. For me, it is reachable. And I am also accountable and committed. There is no a day goes by without I do accomplish certain things. I made at least one person's happy. Even it could be somebody I didn't talk to the person for, I'm not going to tell you, how long, 50 years. I reach out to them. Somebody sick, I reach out to them. I visit someone need to be visit. Okay. I do something positive for the people they work with me, to let them know I appreciate what they do.
Mm-hmm.
And also I do something positive for my realtor. If you are a broker owner, you cannot say, everybody aggravating me. That's your job.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
That's your job. It's your job to help them to make money. It's your job to help them to solve the problem. If they don't make money, you're gonna have no office. If you don't help them to solve the problem, it's become your problem. If you don't educate them how to avoid problems, you will facing all these problems. So I don't know if I answered this right or not.
Yes,
That's
100%.
beautiful.
So
Join us in episode 236 as we continue our conversation with Youssef and we get to the Ask 5.